thrill seekers. We especially welcome this morning Reverend Tara Humphries to our pulpit. Reverend Tara is the minister at Allen Avenue Universalist Church, and they're having a pulpit swap this morning. So Hillary is there preaching, and Tara is here. If this is your first time to our congregation, welcome. Please consider taking a look at the connection cards that are in front of you in every pew. They seem to be all different colors. And we'd like you to let us know who you are so we can connect you to things that interest you. Whether you're brand new or have been here for a while, you're welcome to write any responses to the questions on those cards and put them in the offering plate when it's passed later in the service. If you are joining us with young children, we do have nursery care available during our service for babies and toddlers. The nursery is located right through that door down the hall to the left. And following our service, everyone is invited to join us for coffee hour, our time of friendship, fellowship, and usually really good food downstairs in our gathering room. Before we begin the service this morning, please take a moment to look at the Sunday morning news that's inside your order of worship. It's full of lots of goings-on that you will want to know about. I especially want to highlight that 2 weeks from today is our annual meeting. It's a pretty important official doing business of the church, and we hope it's in the sanctuary right after the service, so we hope everybody will plan on coming that day. And following that meeting, we usually have an all-church picnic. We don't have specifics on that yet, but stay tuned. Now, I would invite you all to take a deep breath. Center yourselves, and our music director, Sam Chandler, will play us into the spirit of worship.
was awesome. Good morning, First You. What a delight to be with you this morning. As Anne said, my name is Reverend Tara. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I serve just down the road at Allen Ave UU in Portland, really closer to Falmouth, so we're really not that far away. A2U2 for short. And we do these pulpit swaps across congregations so that we can get to know each other better and strengthen our Unitarian Universalist movement here in Southern Maine. The thing that some of our congregants don't know is all of the UU ministers around here are friends. So we're really a lot more connected than it may seem. And I will be back here in the fall when Rev Hillary is on sabbatical. So this is just the beginning of our new journey of being friends. I'm looking forward to it. On this final morning of May, Pride Month is nearly upon us. June is a month-long celebration of the incredible rainbow of human sexuality and gender identity, a time to remember the riotous beginnings of this journey of liberation for all of us. And it's a time for each of us, regardless of our identity, to ponder how we might bring more liberation into the wider world, but also into our own individual lives. So let us reflect together on liberation and the many ways that the spirit of love and change calls us out of our boxes and into our breathtaking fullness. Come, my new friends, and arrive here, this place, this moment, set apart, made sacred by our gathering. Come, happy and stressed, tired and full of life. Come, families and singles. Come, trans, straight, queer, young in body and young at heart. Come all who wish to lean in to community, to lean in to love and be made new. Come and be welcome. You are joyfully called to worship. Join me now in song for number 22 in your gray hymnal, Dear Weaver of Our Lives Design. Please rise on your feet or in your hearts as we sing together. Would you join me now in the unison affirmation? We are united in seeking to increase love with justice and to constitute a free church open to all people, mindful of our past and drawing upon modern knowledge, we respond to the spiritual needs of persons and are devoted to the common good in community, nation, and world. We cherish the integrity of each individual and search for truth with reason as our guide. We respect differences of opinion and strive to be a democratic community. We are concerned with this world and open to the future.
And now it's time to light our chalice. If I've got some young folks anywhere who would help me, I would appreciate that. Well, good morning. We got some more. Yay. Okay, who hasn't held the mic in a while? Who wants to hold the mic? You want to hold the mic? Okay. And you remember what to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's right. Okay. With any luck, match will work. You are. You are too. Today I'll do it. Ready?
Yeah. We light our chalice in
chalice
peace and friendship.
Make a wish. Good job. I know. I remember that not long ago. Okay. Now we're going to do time for wonder.
We have a story to share with you this morning. It's called Partners from Does God Have a Big Toe by Mark Gelman. Before there was anything, there was spirit, a few angels, and a huge swirling glob of rocks and water with no place to go. The angels asked Spirit,
Why don't you clean up this mess?
So Spirit collected rocks from the huge swirling glob and put them together in clumps. And Spirit said,
Some of these clumps of rocks will be planets, and some will be stars, and some of these rocks will just be rocks.
Then Spirit collected water from the huge swirling glob and put it together in pools of water.
Some of these pools of water will be oceans. Some will become clouds, and some of this water will just be water.
Well, Spirit, it's better now, but is it finished?
No.
On some of the rocks, Spirit placed growing things and creeping things and things that only Spirit knows what they are. And when Spirit had done all of this, the angels asked them,
Is the world finished now?
Nope.
So Spirit made 2 humans from some of the water and some of the dust and said to them,
I am tired now. Please finish up the world for me. Really, it's almost done.
But the 2 humans said, we can't finish the world alone. You have the plans, and we are far too small.
You are big enough. But I agree to this. If you keep trying to finish the world, I will be your partner.
The 2 humans asked, what's a partner?
A partner is someone you work with on a big thing that neither of you can do alone. If you have a partner, it means you can never give up because your partner is depending on you. And on the days that you think I'm not doing enough, and on the days I think you aren't doing enough, even on those days, we are still partners, and we must not stop trying to finish the world. That is the deal.
And they all agreed to that deal.
But is the world finished yet?
I don't know. Go ask my partners.
Therein ends the story.
All right. We are all together today, Junior Youth Group and Children's Chapel. I'm excited. We're going to be going outside to get some nice sunshine on this beautiful morning that I didn't think we were going to have such a sunshiny morning. But before that, we are going to do our children's blessing. Are we ready? We are Unitarian Universalists, people of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. Join me outside.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sarah. I'm a member of our Spiritual Care Council that supports Reverend Hillary in her pastoral care work. You'll know a member of our council by these pink buttons, and there's usually one of us downstairs where you can talk to us, and you can also reach us at the email address, a confidential email address on the back of your order of worship. At this time in our service, we open our hearts a little bigger, a little wider. It's a two-way thing. We open our hearts to others, here I am, and we invite others into our care. What do you carry in your heart today? In your heart of hearts? As you brought yourself to church, what were you carrying? What concerns for your life, your family and friends, your world? Will you offer shelter to my concerns? Will you realize how precious my joys are? Will you give safe harbor for those who came here with fear or sorrow? Before we light our candles, let's take a minute of silence to create a safe and loving space and realize that we are all connected in love and hope. And then I'll ring our chime 3 times to bring us back. So we enter into our time of silence. A candle for all of you, for what you hold in your hearts, and a candle for this moment, so precious. I'll share a few words from David White. The only choice we have is how we inhabit our vulnerability, how we become larger and more courageous and more compassionate, to inhabit vulnerability as generous citizens of loss. Let us be generous citizens of loss, my friends, citizens of love, generous in holding space for loss, generous in our love. Let us intentionally choose courage, curiosity, and compassion as we walk through life, taking who we are here out into the world. Today and every day, may we find all around us, may you find all around you every kind of support for your sorrow, and so many ways to say thank you for the joy, for the gift of this life on earth. Amen.
you join me in the spirit of prayer? Holy love that holds us, we give you thanks for this day of sunshine and children's voices outside, a day of growing grass and gathering in community, and a day of heavy hearts, a day of stress for many, a day of concern for our wider world, for all of us. We hold this both and each and every day of our lives as our faith calls us to, as people of love and justice. We hold it all. We carry worlds within us. And this time of pausing to open our hearts in gratitude reminds us of all the blessings that are ours. Let us never forget these blessings, even as we witness all that is heavy. For we know that sorrow held together is a lighter burden, and joy, when shared, is amplified. And that is good. In the holy name of love that surpasses all understanding this morning, I pray. Blessed be.
One of the things that I have loved most about our church is that we give away half of our offering every Sunday to a social justice partner that's doing work that shares our values in some way. Today is a special week. We have, for as long as I've known, a minister's discretionary fund, special confidential fund to help us. It exemplifies the courage and compassion and connection that we all have as people struggle with heating bills or food or medical bills or whatever need arises. Confidential requests to Reverend Hillary result in financial assistance. This is a really important fund for taking care of each other. So your generosity is greatly appreciated. If you're with us on Zoom, there is a donate now button in your order of worship where you can give online or you can mail a check as well. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. And now Sam will bless us with the gift of Bach.
Please rise in body and spirit and join us in our song.
Beyond our boxes. When you feel constrained, when your mind makes hard limitations like skin pushing against a cramped space, rediscover the dirt under your fingernails. Trace the veins under your skin. Find the universe stuck in your throat. A cosmos stirs in your heart, connecting your trillions of cells to the infinite universe that cradles you. Life is so much more than the daily demands of our preconceived notions. You are so much more than all the stories you tell yourself. Breathe and remember the limitless possibilities held within your fingertips, the miracle of your molecules growing into someone you may not know, but who will be a wonder to behold. Therein ends our reading. Before I left Maine for seminary, I worked in Lewiston at a drop-in center for unhoused, mostly queer youth. At first, I struggled a lot to get to know them. It seemed to me like every few days, the teens were going by different names and different pronouns, and I couldn't keep it straight. It was still news to me that we got to choose what we were called. I wanted to build relationships with these teenagers. I knew how life-saving relationships with adults were for them, but I couldn't keep up with these youth. I went to my supervisor for advice. It's really hard, I said. The youth are going by different names and different pronouns every day. I feel like I can't keep track of it all. And he gave me some of the greatest advice I've ever gotten. Something along the lines of, Tara, figure it out. Now, at the time, I was slightly miffed, but you know what? I figured it out. I really did. It took attention and work and occasional mistakes for which I apologized, and then we moved on. It wasn't that big of a deal, and I figured it out. What I didn't realize until I began studying theology and ministry is that what those teenagers were embodying and living is what people of faith call calling. That all-encompassing love that holds us, which some of us call God, others call mystery, or simply life itself, calls us into ongoing co-creation, partnership, of becoming who we are in this world, and of creating the very world we inhabit together. I had the gift of bearing witness to this community of young people living into their gender identities and all sorts of other identities, the most authentic versions of themselves in any given moment. as a calling. I had the gift of witnessing the ongoing process of creation itself. And the language of call helped me to make sense of my own identities too. Calling, co-creating, becoming, and unfolding gives me a way to understand my own place on the spectrum of gender, my own place outside the traditional gender binary of man and woman, and to understand that it's not something I've ever been hiding, but that has been unfolding in me and will continue to unfold until the day I die. There's a photo that went around the internet, maybe it was what people call a meme, a few years ago, shared by a bunch of my minister friends. It's a photo of the banner hanging on Calvary Presbyterian Church in San Francisco. The banner reads, "God, the original they, them." I love it. One of my congregants, a woman in her 90s, got a sticker of that for me. It's here on my water bottle. And I love this because it's funny, but also because it's true. It is my conviction that the expansiveness of the divine and our understanding of and respect for the fact that the divine has been over time and across faith traditions understood as a plurality outside of any traditional box. Or as some of my colleagues say, God is not a boy's name. It is my conviction that this understanding, this expansive understanding, can help us to embrace the spiritual task of reflecting on our own identities and relationships to the boxes we have been put in, and that this expansive understanding of the holy calls us not only to accept, but to cherish and celebrate those in our midst, in our lives, who have chosen to live out their calling as people in between holy, sacred, queer, non-binary, trans beloveds, calls us to figure it out so that we might benefit from a community as diverse in gender identity and expression as the divine itself. Though I'm far from an expert on most things, Hindu faith being one of them, through my own reading and studying and conversations with Hindus, in terms of gender, I understand the emphasis to be placed on gender neutrality of the divine. There are gods and goddesses worshipped in Hinduism, such as Lakshmi, who is female, and Shiva, who is male. There are also deities that are bigender, both male and female, like Ardhanarishvara, and deities understood to be formless and genderless. In many cases, there is an ambiguity to the distinctions between male and female, god and goddess, like people too. In Jewish tradition, if we look back at the Hebrew text of Genesis, the Hebrew word for God, Elohim, is actually plural. The singular Hebrew word for God is Eloah. So Elohim, what was later translated to God in English, is an expansive term that points to the plurality of the divine itself. And it's reflected in that first account of Genesis in the Tanakh. So God created humankind in their image. In the image of God, God created them. Linguistically speaking, it's possible that the most accurate English translation of biblical Hebrew for the pronouns of Elohim, of God, would be the singular they. The singular they, a pronoun that many have expressed is confusing and grammatically incorrect, yet has been used since the writing of the creation account. God only knows how long ago that was. Yet has been used in literature by authors including William Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, Agatha Christie, E.B. White, Jane Austen, and Chaucer, going back as far as the mid-1300s. All of which is to say, y'all, this is not new. Using pronouns to refer to people is something we've always done, including the singular they. Gender, expansive expression, and identity, it's not new. Indigenous to spirit, non-binary, genderqueer, and trans identity is not new. Understanding the divine to exist outside the gender binary, understanding the divine to be a plurality is not new. But it might be new to you. It can feel new. It can feel new and overwhelming and confusing and frustrating, as illustrated by my story about trying to figure out how to relate to teenagers who I just couldn't keep up with. It can be frustrating. And it's not new. And when we can drop our defensiveness and embrace humility and curiosity in the face of what we don't yet know or don't yet understand, like how to use they, them pronouns, or why we're being asked not to give our grandchildren blue and pink outfits anymore, or what any of this has to do with religion or faith, we have the capacity not only to create a community of deeper welcome and care and love, but we have the capacity to free that which is not yet free within our own selves. I can't tell you how many times in my workshopping around gender and sexuality with people, I have older adults come up to me and say, you know, I think if I were a kid now, I would probably be a they, them. I love when they share that, because it reminds me that we are all still changing and evolving, and language is amazing. As you probably know, by now, a billionaire in the Midwest dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars and a whole bunch of out-of-state signature collectors to try to get an anti-trans ballot initiative on Maine's ballot this November. They used a tactic right out of the authoritarian playbook, scaring people into thinking that the conversation is about protecting girls in locker rooms. That's not the conversation. This conversation has always been about advancing the anti-trans agenda on the national level, one state, one local community at a time. They cheated, and they were caught, so we won't be voting on this issue in November, which is awesome. It's a win, and I guarantee they will be back for a win the next time around. Even so, it buys us some time. And what I hope, sincerely hope, we will do with this time that we now have is make a real commitment to answer the call of our Unitarian Universalist faith to break down binaries, get comfortable with language. In the words of my old boss, figure it out. Because sure, we can vote our values once however many years, or maybe once every year. We can vote our values, we can vote down ballot initiatives, but living into our call as Unitarian Universalists, partners of the Spirit, of God, of love, in creating this world, is going to require that we do more than just vote. It's going to require that we change, that we transform how we think, how we listen, and what we say. We know that words matter, that our world is shaped by language, and language and words shift and change every single day. The very words that shape our lives and identities and experiences change, and we change too. We are a people, a world, and a faith tradition in process, always. And the holy, the divine love that holds and keeps us is in process too. The holy is moving and shaking and shifting, calling us to change and grow and transform and become the fullest, most free version of ourselves in any given moment. So no wonder people change their names and their genders and their pronouns when they are held by communities of non-judgmental love, right? Because we are living into our call to be who we are in full. To bear witness to that is nothing short of a miracle in my book. Is nothing short of a miracle. One of the core theological concepts, both in Unitarian and Universalist faith pre-1961 merger, now articulated in our core UU value of equity, which affirms the inherent worth and dignity of every person, is what's called, in Latin, the imago Dei, the image of God. Embracing the imago Dei historically was an affirmation that the image of the divine, sacred mystery, holy wholeness, perfect love resides within each and every person and being. We were created in mystery and in love, and so mystery and love reside within each of us forever, no matter what. And so, if we are indeed created in the image of divine love, and divine love is beyond all boxes, all gender, all categories, all pronouns, if divine love is moving and changing and unfolding and transforming, then so are we. Change and transformation are our birthright. Nothing is static, and our call is to embrace this not only in ourselves, but in one another. And for us, as Unitarian Universalists, we do this in community. And that's hard, and that's amazing, because we can figure it out with curiosity, humility, and gentleness in faith together. In the words of our reading, breathe and remember the limitless possibilities held within your fingertips, the miracle of your molecules growing into someone you may not know, who will be a wonder to behold. May it be so, and may we help to make it so. Blessed be. Our closing hymn this morning is 128 in your gray hymnal, For All That Is Our Life. Let us rise in our hearts and on our feet as we join our voices as one.
For all that is alive, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good. For For needs which declare our failures, pain, and loss. For each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life. For all that is our life, we sing our songs and praise. For all life is a gift, which we are called to use, and build the common good. To make our own days glad.
Please join me in the unison benediction. For those who come here seeking God, may God go with you. For those who come embracing life, may life return your affection. For those who come to seek a path, may a way be found and the courage to take it step by step. And I'll invite you into the final words I share with my A2U2 folks each Sunday. I start by saying our worship has ended, and they, you, will respond together by saying, and our service begins. Our worship has ended, and our service begins. Go in peace.